What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's Wise 5 Picks stream. Once again, as you can tell, it is just me today. No Ben once again. Ben might be here in the chat. Not really sure. But yeah, he'll be back on Tuesday. So, what's up, Freenzy? How's it going? So, yeah, quick recap from yesterday. It was a 3-2 day. It was a bit of a sketchy 3-2 though, not gonna lie. What's up, Ian? So we had Cubs money line at minus 124. That was a pretty clean win. We had our Phillies team total over 4.5. That one, I'll be honest though, I don't know that deserved to win. And we had our no-run first inning in the Miami and LA Dodgers game at minus 140, which also hit. It was good that we had no-run first inning, not no-run second inning. Alcantara completely imploded in the second, gave up 8 runs, but our Nerfy did hit. 2 losses on the day. We lost the over 8.5 in the game between Oakland and Minnesota. And we lost Rhys Hoskins hitting a home run. He had a great day. 3 for 5, a double, 3 RBIs, just didn't manage to hit one out of the park. But that's okay. It was a profitable day, and that's what we're going for. We can't go 5-0 every day like we did on Friday, or on Thursday. But we got 5 more picks coming up today. So let's just hop into it. So we're gonna start off with the money line. Wise pick of the day. We're going to go with the Washington Nationals at minus 116. Hopefully this is still at minus 116. Let's take a look. Yeah, we still got minus 116 here on PointsBet. But yeah, Washington Nationals at minus 116 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yeah, should have taken the over in the Nats-Diamondbacks game yesterday. Holy cow. Nats only put up 17 runs by themselves in that one. And that doesn't really even have anything to do with why I like the Nationals to beat the Diamondbacks again today. So this pitching matchup is interesting. So on the mound for Washington, we have Joe Ross. Joe Ross's kind of year-level peripherals are pretty mediocre. He's sitting at 2-2 with a 4.26 ERA, a 1.29 WHIP. But that is extremely negatively affected by one terrible start that he had. So in a game earlier this year against St. Louis, Ross pitched 4 innings, gave up 10 earned runs. Aside from that start, he's gone at least 5 innings and given up at most 2 earned in 5 out of 5 starts. So I think that against Arizona, he'll be able to continue that pretty good pitching. I don't think that we're going to need a gem of a game from Ross, though, because of the guy on the mound for Arizona. So the guy going for Arizona, his name is Seth Frankoff. I had never heard of this guy. And I'd be impressed if before today you had heard of this guy. So let me pull up his player page again. So Frankoff is 32 years old. He's even closer to 33 than he is to 32. And he's making his first major league start today. So that just in and of itself is an instant red flag. So Frankoff was drafted all the way back in 2010. He was a 27th round pick. Looked like a career minor leaguer, pitched 1 game, 2 innings of relief back in 2017. That was his major league debut. Then he went and pitched as a starter in the KBO in Korea for a couple years. Then came back to the States last year, made 2 more relief appearances for the Mariners last year, and now this is going to be his first career MLB start coming up today. So in that very brief 4.2 innings that he's thrown in the majors, his ERA is 13.5, which is not good. Of course, very small sample size, but this guy just doesn't have good stuff. He barely throws a fastball. I think he only throws one like 30% of the time. The pitch that he throws the most is a changeup, which is a little bit unusual. His swinging strike rate in in the majors. Again, this is across just 4 innings, but it's only 5.7%. So the Nationals are going to be putting the bat on the ball. And in the minors, though, his swinging strike rate was also really low. So this is a guy who's going to try and induce weak contact as opposed to try and strike guys out. And I think that the Nats are getting hot. I mean, they scored 17 yesterday. They're seeing the ball well. I think they're going to put a lot of balls in play. I think they're going to get a couple home runs. And I think the Nats are going to destroy the Diamondbacks again today. So I think getting this at minus 116 with this 32, almost 33-year-old making his first career start, it's a fantastic value. So second wise pick of the day, our team total. I'm going to go with under 8 runs in the game today between the Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers. So let's find this line real quick. Make sure we still have it. Yeah, here it is. So sitting at minus 118. This is at 7.5, I think, on a lot of other books. I still like it at 7.5. But getting it at 8 just gives us the push if it happens to end at like a 5-3 game, that type of thing. So this is a battle of the Andersons on the mound. We have Ian Anderson going for the Braves, Brett Anderson going for the Brewers. So Ian Anderson is a young pitcher, former number 3 overall pick back in 2017. This is going to be his 14th career start today. Larry, you made it. I'm glad you made it. Glad to see you here. But Ian Anderson is pitching really well. So over his 7 starts this year, he has a 3.46 ERA, 1.26 whip, 43 Ks in 39 innings. Not really prone to the long ball. Just seems like the runs that he's given up has more been teams managing to string a couple hits together and kind of getting lucky to drive runs in as opposed to consistent hard contact on the bat off of his pitches. Furthermore, Ian Anderson, I should say, going for the Braves, is a right-handed pitcher, and the Brewers are the worst team in the league batting against right-handed pitchers. We're tied for the worst. I guess maybe technically they're the second worst on a tiebreak after the Rockies. But the Brewers this year, against right-handed pitching, are hitting .206, which is not good. It's really bad. And it's the same thing going the other way. So Brett Anderson on the mound for Milwaukee is a left-handed pitcher, and the Braves are hitting under 200 this year against left-handed pitchers. So this is about as good of a platoon split pitching matchup as we can get. Both of these guys are good. I mean, Ian obviously has fantastic stuff. Slight control issues, but I think that he'll be dialed in today against Milwaukee. Brett Anderson, going for Milwaukee, was pitching well this year. He strained his hamstring against the Chicago Cubs back on April 23rd. I remember we had the no-run first inning as one of our wise picks in that game. I think it was Hendricks on the mound for Chicago, got through the top of the first easily, and then Anderson gave up 3 earned, only getting 1 out, and then got pulled from the game and then went on the injured list. But he's back now. He made 1 start, only went 3 innings in that start, kind of still building up his arm against Miami. But in that start, only gave up 2 hits, only walked 1, didn't give up any runs, 3 Ks in those 3 innings. I think that he'll go 4 or 5 today. And he should also have success neutralizing the Braves bats. So when he's done, because again, it's going to be a short start for him, but Milwaukee's bullpen has a lot of really good guys. There's a lot of lefties in Milwaukee's bullpen, which again is what we're looking for in this one. We like left-handed bats against the Braves. And the Braves, a lot of their top relievers haven't been able to pitch in the last couple days because they've been losing. So I think that even if this is a close game, which I'm expecting it to be, and the Braves are down, they're still going to bring in some of the big guns. I'd expect to see Fireisen get an inning. I'd expect to see Hader get an inning. And I'd expect to see some of the lefty middle relievers get some time in between. And I think that this is a game that looks like a 3-2 type game, going one way or the other. Matt loves the Nats pick. I like the Nats pick too. I think that this is a phenomenal value at minus 116. So next up, we're going to go to our team total wise pick of the day. And this one, we're going to lock in the Chicago White Sox over 4.5 runs today at plus 106. I believe it was here on DraftKings where we had this line. Sitting at plus 102 here. That's fine. Let me check. Superbook. Plus 100 here. So let me change this real quick to a plus 102 from a plus 106. Again, all of this matters. We're not gonna cheat the lines at all. Plus 102 is what we got. That's what we're gonna lock in. But yeah, so this one again, it really is a fantastic platoon split type matchup. That's kind of the theme for today on my total picks. So Mike Minor on the mound today for the Royals is a left-handed pitcher. White Sox absolutely demolish left-handed hitting or left-handed pitching. So on the year, White Sox are hitting .312 against lefties. Their WRC plus against left-handed pitching is 154, which means they are 50% better than league average against left, or better than that even, against left-handed pitching. So Minor, he's a decent starter, but he's nothing special. I mean, he's got some K potential, but the White Sox aren't a team that strikes out a lot. They only strike out 21% of the time against lefties. Minor's faced the White Sox also twice this year already. Back on April 11th, in his second start of the year, he only gave up 1 run on 4 hits. Is Abreu playing? That's a good question. Lineups for this game aren't confirmed. Was there news that he was going to sit? Oh, yeah. He had the collision with Hunter Dozier. That's right. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really care, though. I mean, Abreu's good, but it's not like they're lacking for other good bats. And I do see him in the projected lineup. So, but either way, yeah. So Minor only gave up 1 in 4 innings against Chicago earlier this year. Although I think he had some good luck on balls in play in that one. And then in Minor's last start, back on May 9th, he also faced the White Sox. And in that one, he gave up 5 earned in 5 innings. So I think we should expect to see 4, maybe even 5 from the White Sox against Minor. And then if they're in that 3 to 4 range instead, we're still going to have 4 innings for them to get 1 or 2 runs in against the bullpen. I think he's a game time decision. That sounds right. I think that the White Sox have enough juice in the lineup against left-handed pitching that I like this even if Abreu's out. It's possible that this will actually go down to 4 maybe if news comes that Abreu's out. But if he's in, I'd expect that this juice is going to go from plus 102 down to like a minus 105, minus 110 type thing. But yeah, long story short, this one really just comes down to the fact that the White Sox, it's a lineup full of righties. They're probably not going to start a single lefty today. It's all righties and switch hitters, and they all mash lefties. And Minor's just not all that great of a lefty. So next up, we have our player prop for today. And for this one, we're going to go away from the home run props. Finally suffered our first defeat on one of those yesterday. But we're going to go to the strikeout props. Again, we have Martin Perez under 4.5 strikeouts today against the LA Angels. Yeah, the collision was pretty nasty. I know Dozier's already on the injured list. He might get an off day. I mean, again, I think this is fine, even if Abreu does sit. I think it might even create value, the fact that there's a doubt about it. So why under 4.5 strikeouts for Martin Perez? This one, I think once again, really comes down to the platoon situation here. So lineups for this one are confirmed. It starts at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. So Martin Perez is a lefty. Martin Perez struggles mightily at striking out right-handed hitters. So in his career, Martin Perez against lefties has a 20% K rate. Against righties, only at 13.8% K rate. So Martin Perez, again, in his career, 13.8% strikeout rate against right-handed hitting. The Angels today are starting 8 right-handed hitters. And the only lefty that they're starting is Ohtani. So this is a lineup that is basically as geared as possible towards neutralizing Martin Perez. Also, the Angels, it's not only the fact that they're all righties. It's a team that doesn't really strike out at all against left-handed pitching. So the Angels this year have a K rate against lefties of 20.9%, which is the 6th best in all of baseball. So I really think that this is a kind of perfect storm here. Angels money line is a decent look. I agree. Bundy worries me a little bit just because of how hit or miss he is. But I agree that Angels money line is a decent look. And the last thing that I kind of like about this Perez prop is a couple starts ago. Well, so in his last start, I guess, Perez only threw 71 pitches. And Alex Cora is on the record saying that he's kind of nervous letting Perez pitch the third time through the lineup against righties. He said that in the Perez's start before his most recent one against Detroit, that it was a mistake to leave him out in the 6th inning against a righty. And that he should have yanked him. In the game after that, he got pulled after 71 pitches going into the 6th inning with a bunch of righties coming up. So I'm really expecting that even if Perez is pitching okay, that he's not going to go past 5 innings with the fact that the Angels lineup is entirely made up of right-handed hitters and Ohtani. So I think that this is a pretty good value here. Let me pull up the line, of course, to lock this in. So this is sitting at minus 139 now on DraftKings. I actually think that the 125 was on PointsBet. So let me pull this up. Yeah, there we go. So there's Martin Perez under 4.5 strikeouts as today's player prop. And lastly, it's time for the Nerfy or Yerfy, although I have sworn off Yerfies, so these are going to be Nerfies until there's not a good Nerfy on the board. This is one that I didn't see at all in the Discord. So I think it was Saucy posted a ton of Nerfies that he liked today, and this was not one of them. So this is one that I think has a fantastic value. I'm going to go no-run first inning in the game today between the Cleveland Indians and Seattle Mariners. I think that the 107 was on DraftKings. Let me find this. So it's looking at minus 110 on DraftKings now. Let me check Superbook. If it's minus 110, that's fine. Yeah. So we're going to lock this in at minus 110 real quick. Aaron says, any thoughts on Giants? I'll touch on that in a second after I get through this one. So what do I like about the no-run first inning in this game? So I like the pitchers that we have. So going for the Indians is Tristan McKenzie. Going for the Mariners, Justice Sheffield. So both of these guys are young starters. McKenzie is a rookie. Sheffield is, I mean, he's technically not a rookie. I guess this is actually technically his 4th year in the league. But he's only thrown 127 innings in his career. So he's also a kind of young guy. So both of these guys have pretty electric stuff. They just suffer occasionally from some control issues. But with both of these guys being young, what I found is that it starts off at the beginning of games that these guys pitch well, and then second time through the lineup or third time through the lineup is when the wheels start falling off a little bit. So Sheffield this year has made 6 previous starts, and I think it's only one time that he's given up a run in the first inning. So he blanked Kansas City. This is McKenzie. McKenzie's made 6 starts. He blanked Kansas City in the first inning. He blanked the fantastic Chicago White Sox lineup in the first inning. He blanked the fantastic Cincinnati Reds lineup in the first inning. He blanked the Yankees in the first inning. He blanked the White Sox again in the first inning, and he blanked the Royals again in the first inning. So McKenzie, 6 for 6, not allowing a run in the first inning, despite his 5 ERA. So this is a guy who comes out hot. He's got 34 Ks in 23 innings. He's got fantastic stuff. I suggest catching a start of his at some point if you haven't seen him. But I think against this Mariners lineup that doesn't really have any kind of noteworthy juice at the top, McKenzie's in a pretty good spot to continue that streak of not allowing any first inning runs. Sheffield is much the same way. So he also faced the White Sox, which again, as I've said, is the best lineup in the league against left-handed pitching, which Sheffield is a lefty. He blanked the White Sox in the first inning. He blanked the Orioles in the first inning. He blanked the Dodgers in the first inning. He gave up 2 to Houston in the first inning. He gave up just like a couple hits. The Astros were able to string a couple together. But that's the only time. He blanked the Angels in the first inning, which is like including Ohtani, Trout, Rendon at the top of that lineup. And he blanked Texas in the first inning. So both of these guys come out hot. Wheels fall off a little bit later. Neither lineup really has a ton of power at the top. It's more depth throughout the lineup that is the strength of each of these teams. So I like the value on the no-run first inning at -110 here. So that wraps up the Wise 5 picks. I'm happy to sit around and talk about other games that are going on today. So Giants-Pirates is kind of interesting. So Johnny Cueto and Tyler Anderson on the mound. What is the line at in this? I think Giants are very slightly favored, sitting at -115. Over-unders at 7.5. With a little more juice on the over. It's kind of tough, I think. So the Giants are a team that has a strangely high number of left-handed bats in the lineup. So the top of the lineup, they have Tauchman, they have Yastrzemski, they have Belt, they have Crawford, and they have Duggar in there also, all lefties. So the Giants are a kind of team that performs really well against right-handed pitching, I believe, and really poorly against left-handed pitching. Although that's what you would think, I should say. But it actually turns out that for whatever reason, the Giants only strike out 20% of the time against lefties and are better than league average hitting against them. And against righties, they actually have the highest K rate in the league at 28% and are a below average team. So they're a little bit of a reverse platoon split situation. So from that perspective, I think Anderson is actually in a pretty good spot going into this matchup. Cueto, on the flip side, is a guy that's kind of hard to tell what's going on with him. So he was good at the beginning of the year. I mean, he gave up 3, struck out 7 in 5 innings against Seattle, gave up 1, struck out 7 in 8 innings against Colorado, didn't give up any runs, struck out 4 in 5 innings against Cincy, and then got blown up by San Diego last time out. So I really don't have a lean on the money line here, especially with it being more or less even going both ways. I think if there was a team that was sitting at plus 120, plus 125, whichever team that was would be the value, but I really do think that this is a kind of 50-50 game. I think that the under is probably a good play here. And another thing that I was looking at was Tyler Anderson's strikeout prop. So if I'm not mistaken, the Pirates yesterday had to go to the bullpen pretty early on. So I'm expecting Anderson to get a little extra run today, just to keep the rest of the pen fresh. So I think that if he faces a couple extra batters, he could notch an extra strikeout. But I just don't like this juice. Minus 155 on the minus 4.5. So I think, long story short, if I was going to take a team here, money line, like gun to my head, I go Pirates just because it's the one that's at plus 100. But I really don't have a strong opinion. How do I feel about White Sox run line? I mean, I suppose there's stuff I'd rather take than White Sox run line. I mean, Rodon is a monster. He's just destroying everybody right now. It's insane. It's incredible. At the same time, though, he tweaked his back at some point in his last start. He hasn't pitched since May 7th, so it's a little weird number of days rest. Rodon might not go quite as long as usual in this one. There's a chance. So I think I'd stay away. I'm not gonna say it's a bad play. I also just don't want to endorse it as a good play. Just because of the uncertainty around Rodon. So yeah, I think that wraps up the stream for today. As always, if you're not in the Discord, be sure to check that out. I just threw a link for that down in the chat. Yep, Aaron, all the stuff is one unit. If nothing else, it just makes it easy and simple to keep track of the record and the return. I mean, are there plays that I like more than other plays and that Ben likes more than other plays? I mean, of course. But like, one of our big pet peeves is people throwing around like 2 units as the base play, and then this is a 3-unit play, and then that's a 5-unit play, and that's a 10-unit play, and then just like the whole concept of a unit kind of just gets lost in that. So to keep things simple, everything is a 1-unit play. And then it also makes it easy to calculate the return on stuff. So over the course of the stream, the streams that we've done, we've made, 85 picks at this point? So you 85 units in, 19.75 units profit. Easy to calculate, easy to figure it out. There's not like, oh yeah, we put 5 units on one of the home run props that hit, and now we're like up forever. It's not like that. What is the Capwise pick of the day? There's 5 picks of the day, Jake. You know that. I think my favorite one of these, though, is the Nats. I will say that. I don't recommend picking and choosing from these, though. Even though the game total net units looks a little ugly. It's all about the process. That'll even itself out. So, if nobody else has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Good luck, as always, with your picks today. Thanks for being here. No stream tomorrow on Sunday. No stream on Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday. And I hope that y'all enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you next time.